And we're live.
Hey everybody, welcome to Unlocking the Magic Live. We are back.
We are back. Unfortunately, we are back.
We are bummed.
Yeah, kind of sad that we're back, but we are back from our trip to the Polynesian last week. We did a podcast last week, kind of giving you a little bit of a trip recap. We did it on Thursday. No, we did it on Friday morning, so we didn't go to the Magic Kingdom, and we didn't spend the weekend there, but, you know, it was a little bit of trip recap. We'll kind of go over that a little bit today.
Wait. We did go to the Magic Kingdom. What are you talking about?
Saturday we did, not before the podcast.
Gotcha. So now that we've visited the Magic Kingdom, we kind of did everything. We did everything this trip except Animal Kingdom, which our kids were really, really bummed about.
Right.
But we couldn't do it all. I mean, come on now. We're not that quite there yet on YouTube.
No, we're not. So do me a favor. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Let us know who's watching this live with us, where you're watching from. If you have a question about what Disney's like now's the time to answer it. Probably hang out here for about 15 or 20 minutes. This is instead of our usual Tuesday night YouTube video.
Well, I would say we can talk about things that changed in Disney for COVID reasons or whatever, but it seems as soon as we left, things changed again. So people are like, it's a lot more, I feel like we'll be able to sort of give you the overall feel of how we stayed, but I think that a lot has changed from just 2 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, we were there. We were there, went to a park on Wednesday. We went to Epcot. And Epcot on Wednesday was much different, or Thursday was much different than the Magic Kingdom on Saturday. That's like Friday night. We got back to the hotel room Friday night, and that's exactly when the resort or Disney announced that they were kind of getting rid of the outdoor mask mandate.
Right.
And let me tell you, as someone who doesn't like crowd creep,
what?
Magic Kingdom creeped up on me pretty good in those lines Saturday morning.
It was busy. And in my defense, I didn't realize when we booked this particular trip this time that I just didn't really think to look and see if the cheer week was happening. And all these awesome cheerleaders were there, very, very talented kids. But of course, that made it busy, right. Which I just didn't think was happening this year. It was really cute to see a lot of them. But it was busy, which made it feel a little different than what we heard it was like, I think, for a while, because they had said, the capacity was less, but was it? It was
yes.
It didn't feel like they had reduced the capacity. But
no, there's no way that it was 35% capacity at the parks when we were there.
It didn't feel like it anyways.
I think I put a post on there on Instagram, Unlocking the Magic podcast on Instagram, by the way. We kind of showed a lot of not behind the scenes, but we showed a lot of our trip on the stories there. I said, it feels like 40% of double capacity.
Definitely.
It was about 80. It felt like 80% capacity for sure.
I think that also with a lot of things that are closed, it just kind of makes people congregate into certain areas altogether. But now it seems like things are going to be reopening and more is going to be available for all those people that are there, which will make it that much better. Go ahead.
Dan says in the comments, I heard a rumor today, possible French Quarter in Riverside, August 2021.
Just a rumor.
A rumor.
We don't want to be those rumor people right now. But
doesn't Dan know we don't work in rumors?
No, we do.
Come on, Dan.
No, but that would be exciting because I actually heard a lot of people that had booked certain resorts that would actually want to change to the French Quarter if it opened up.
The French Quarter is one of my favorite resorts.
Definitely.
We went to the Polynesian. Let's give a little behind the scenes of the Polynesian.
All right.
So we stayed.
Should we say hi to some people though first? Adam's here.
Yeah, say hi to some people.
Amy's here. Dan was here. Destiny, Ashley, lots of folks here. Okay, go ahead.
So before I just going to give a shout out to our Patreon group.
Yeah.
We did kind of like a unscheduled kind of meetup at the Polynesian Wednesday night.
Physically distanced one.
Physically distanced, yes.
Right.
Socially distant meetup, which was pretty cool.
Socially distant for Bruce.
Yeah, socially distant for me. It was fun.
Physically
I ended up thinking I wanted to stay. I was going to stay for 30 minutes. I ended up staying for 3 hours.
You did. I was really impressed. Although you did meet your social quota for the month just with that particular day.
100%.
Yeah.
I locked myself in the closet after that for the next whole day.
It was awesome getting to see people. I mean, we all had masks on and we were all, like I said, in a distance, but it was still cool to just have that moment and and hang out.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun to see people that we talked to online in real life and see them excited for their trip. It was pretty fun.
Wait. First of all, Katie's here. Hi. And then Sarah says, we saw y'all from our balcony at the Poly. My husband said to yell, go Unlocking the Magic, but I thought that might mortify you.
Definitely would mortify me.
I don't think it would mortify me. I think it would have probably mortified our kids. They were just like, oh gosh, what did we get ourselves into? They were like, I don't realize how shy they actually are. Yes. They really are introverts like you. It's just so funny.
In public, they are, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, we stayed at the Polynesian, and I have to say, I love the Polynesian. I liked it a lot this trip, but there was, between what's happening in the world and the construction that's going on there, it didn't quite feel like the Polynesian that we know.
In the Polynesian, in the defense of the Polynesian, right?
Yeah.
It's not open yet.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying it was bad. It was still great. It was still phenomenal. It's still a great pool, a great outdoor atmosphere. It's close to the Magic Kingdom. You still get all the visuals and the sounds.
Yeah.
That being said, it didn't feel like our trip last time because of what's happening there.
I think that overall, everything is dialed down. I mean, I definitely think by the time you guys go, or if you're there now, it's definitely going to, it seems like things are changing overnight with mask removal and things that we had to do while we were there. So I think the energy is going to pick back up. And I think that was one of the things that we noticed it wasn't just the Polynesian, because again, it was technically closed. We stayed at the DVC side. So I couldn't really comment on things that were closed because the Polynesian is happening to be going through a major renovation right now. I mean, they had blocked off a ton of resort rooms. The whole main entrance is closed. The area where you normally congregate in the lobby is closed. So, well, the lobby's open, but like where they help with the guest services are, the cast members there, they're no longer at that area, which is kind of confusing. So that being said, I feel like we shouldn't really comment too much because it's not fair. But I did notice on the other resorts that were fully opened, the interaction with the cast members is really what makes it super magical. And I feel like because of the masks and everyone trying to be physically distanced, it's dialed down just a hair, which for some, I feel like it's a good thing. But for somebody like me, I'm pointing at you because you're an introvert, but like somebody like me, I feed on the energy of the room. So if there's half the amount of people, my energy goes down.
Yeah, you know what else it is too? And I know you have to do this. Like everybody's wearing masks, right? And like the servers or the Disney cast members, sometimes they wear shields.
Yeah.
And the only hard part I had was at dinner, I didn't want to be like, say what 5 times?
Yeah.
But I really couldn't understand what anybody was saying.
The best part was at Sanaa when we had the best cast member. The waiter there was awesome. Sure. He was actually from Massachusetts at one point, and he got out of there. He's like, I couldn't handle the cold. But it was really hard to kind of like,
have a conversation.
Right. Like
I literally just shook my head and said yes. They could have been like, can we charge you double, Mr. Irving? And I would be like, yep, what? Oh, yeah, sure. No problem.
I'll take 5 bread services.
Yeah, and I understand the circumstances, so I'm not like complaining about it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, like, that was hard for me. I couldn't hear anybody. I never realized how deaf I am and how much I need to read people's lips.
Right.
In order to really understand what people are saying.
Yeah. Okay. So we have trip highlights from somebody. They want to know what was some favorite. We're going to go really dive deep into all of this on the actual podcast. But yes. I would say it's funny. I realized how much we needed to go and how much I was like really grateful to get away. But I realized like the trip highlights was actually before the trip. It was seeing our kids prepare the night before. Like I didn't realize how stuck they have been feeling during this whole thing. And so for them, it was like the best escape, and like seeing them pack and get ready and literally sing. It was like 2 a.m. the night before, and they were really, really excited again. It was almost like our first Disney trip, like for them.
It was pretty good.
That was one of my, I think, favorite moments. And then the second one has to be Sanaa. I really had a great time there.
I think Sanaa is a perfect, if you want to get something different. I felt like, we kind of ate similar things. Even though they were different restaurants, we kind of ate at we ate similar meals, but except for Sanaa. Sanaa was one places where it was completely different.
We've eaten there before, but I think it was a long time ago, and it was great because we walked into it with high expectations because we've eaten there before and loved it, but we really felt, and we brought my niece, like it was a really great evening. It's pricey, but it was pricey.
It was pricey. It's always pricey.
It's always pricey.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was a great trip highlight. I agree with you. I think checking off snack goals on the shirt, I think I checked every one of these off.
I think we did everything except I wanted to do the cream cheese stuffed pretzel, which we didn't get to do because we literally ate so much.
Yeah, we went to Epcot and ate around the world pretty much something at every country, which was pretty good.
I think I don't think I ever felt hungry the entire trip. Not.
So for me, the trip, Tonga toast. I finally got to eat my Tonga toast. I think I had it 3 consecutive mornings.
I think so. You did too.
That was pretty good. That was a good trip highlight.
Yeah.
Staying at the cabins and renting a golf cart. Definitely a trip highlight for me.
That was a question from Destiny. She said, what do you think about staying in the cabin?
I think staying at the cabin is great. Like, I think you have to include the price of a golf cart because you definitely need a golf cart. I could not imagine staying at the cabins, having to either walk or take the bus to get from one part of the campgrounds to the other. That would be like a nightmare for me.
I was thinking like it would be cool. I wish there was like a different form or not to say anything bad about the buses. Like I'm glad they're there, but like it kind of didn't. I don't know. I feel like everything is so rustic, and then you just got like the regular buses kind of going around. You're like, oh, it's kind of weird.
So we only stayed there one night because we got there early. We stayed there one night. We rented a golf cart for the one night. But G, Kula, and I were out probably till about 11 p.m. at night, driving that golf cart around the campgrounds, like stopping at the pool and just like wandering around the campgrounds in the golf cart with the lights on. It was so fun. I think it's something that if I go on a trip next time and I wanted to stay at the cabins, I definitely would probably stay 3 nights. I think 3 nights would be enough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we really maximized that first night. Yeah. So like we really did a lot. So it could get tiring, but
I don't know if I'd want to stay there for a full week doing that because it is a lot of trekking around when you have to get somewhere.
It's work.
Yeah.
It's work. It's
even
fun.
The golf cart is fun, but like you have to get in the golf cart, drive yourself. It's a process.
It must be so hard. No, I think the only reason why I wouldn't stay there a full week personally is because I feel like the one thing I don't love about that resort is the pool. And I'm like, you know, in New England, we don't get a full.
Yeah.
We barely get a summer some year. So I really love to take advantage of like the pool and the jacuzzis and that particular one, even like the big one isn't really that great to me. And then they have a quiet pool, which is nice, but it's just not like I want more when I'm away. I want more tropical vibes, I think.
Yeah, it's very like it's a pool in the woods.
Yeah, like I can see that in New England. So, but I give it 10 stars. I mean, the cabins aren't cheap. That's the other thing. Right. But especially if you incorporate, which I really think you should, a golf cart to make your experience better.
You know what the thing about the cabins is great? Or not one thing, but there's a couple things about the cabins that are great. But when you stay at, even us staying at the Polynesian Resort, right? You park your car. We had a rental car. Yeah. We'll talk about that after. But you park in the parking lot. And even though the Polynesian isn't necessarily like a huge resort, it's still far to get to your room. It's still a process. Like if you're carrying your luggage or you're carrying stuff that you get.
This particular one, it was harder because they had a lot of blocked off areas.
Yeah, so you're always like there's no real cut throughs. You have to go the long way.
Yeah.
There's nothing like pulling your golf cart right up, like literally up to the stairs on your porch.
Or literally right up to like the quick service. Like that was awesome.
Yes. I mean, like, so as much as it is far away and you have to get in the golf cart, like getting back from picking up your quick service and taking it back to your cabin and pulling right up to the front door. And like just getting out of the golf cart and 2 steps and you're in the cabin eating.
Yeah. And the other thing I loved about the cabin, and I think you can offset the price of the stay, is the fact that you have a full kitchen. So you can have groceries delivered. Not that anybody wants to cook while they're on vacation, but it certainly makes it a lot easier. You can make a full pot of coffee. We had like a full cream. Like you didn't have to go to get a quick service kind of small thing like that, which I feel like adds up after a while.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we let the kids sleep in the bedroom in the morning, like sleep in a little bit, and we got to enjoy our coffee with TV in the living room, and you got some separation.
That too, especially when you have teenagers.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice. And what I thought was really cool was the cabins are a lot more, I know I'm going on and on, but like I was really impressed because I really wrote off the cabins a long time ago. I thought, oh, why would I want to do that when you can kind of find something like that in New Hampshire or close by to where we live. But when you walk into the cabin, you realize like they're really luxurious. Like the ceilings are really high. They have it really Disney style, you know? So I recommend. I was actually, the whole time we were there, I was thinking how fun it would be to have like a girls trip, like a couple of adults that can offset the price of the room. But, you know, having a couple of paying adults and doing that. Or maybe bringing a tent and putting it on the porch.
That would be cool. Do me a favor. Hit the like button if you're watching this. Hit the like button so you get alerted for other YouTube videos that we do. The bathroom in the cabins, though, like that was a real shower. Like we've stayed at cabins in Maine before, like cabins and like you get this shower and it's faucet head comes out of my chest.
It's like,
and it trickles water out.
Yeah.
So this was like a real legit shower.
This was nice.
Full pressure. It was good.
It was for sure glamping all the way. I was texting our sister-in-law and I was telling her she's got to do it. It was awesome. Okay, Amy says, my son loved the extra buses at the cabins. That's the other thing. Like kids probably do like it.
Great. I'm not a kid.
But he's not a kid, right? Yeah. Okay. Dylan mom Melissa says, any car rental suggestions? So expensive these days. Holy cow. Yes. Oh my gosh. The prices of rental cars have skyrocketed. What I found was it's you can get discounts on like the bigger car companies. So like Alamo, Budget, all that helps offset it. And then what we did was, for the first time in a long time, we did not keep the rental car the whole trip, which I really feel helped us, certainly helped our bottom line. And then we realized like what days we need it, which was the beginning of the trip. And then we realized towards the end, we would probably just have it sitting in the parking lot anyway. So we had it dropped off at the car care center in Disney. So easy. Yeah. So I cannot believe we've never done that before.
It saved us 4 days of paying for the rental car.
Yeah.
So we dropped it off early in the morning at the car care center in Disney, and then they gave us a shuttle ride, which was just us, to Epcot.
Yeah, it was like
Epcot, we took the bus back, and for the rest of the time, we knew, like the next couple of days, we already had planned out that we wouldn't need it. So we kind of just deleted 3 or 4 days of rental car payments off of our trip.
Right. I mean, of course, that only helps if you're staying on property, because then you can do the Magical Express back, which, gosh, riding the Magical Express back this time, we call it the Tragical Express because it's picking you up at the end of your trip. But I realize how much I do appreciate that service. And I know that there's, that's something that Disney is removing down the line. But I'm hoping that they incorporate something similar, because it was such a it was sad leaving, but it was like a nice, relaxing way to get to the airport versus how we normally are, like scrambling, trying to get the car. We've been to the car return place in Orlando Airport a dozen times, but we still get stressed out every time.
Yeah.
It's just like, do we go to the right place? Do we talk to the right people? Like, it's just, anyway. So
another thing I loved and enjoyed about this trip that who knows if will ever have it again is the separation from people in lines was amazing. Amazing. I loved not having the pressure of feeling
squashed.
Yes.
Yes.
Like that feeling of having space and not having to have space because you're like trying to create your own space. Like they had to let you have your space.
I think for a long time, Disney, and we talked about this last week on the podcast, but like Disney for a long time, literally, I would say the last 2-3 years I've noticed it the most was that they really cram you into every attraction. Those infamous words, move all the way forward, sticks with you, and you just like you're shoulder to shoulder with someone breathing on you, and it gets hot, and it just makes some people uncomfortable. So that was kind of a nice relief, but honestly, they've got to get through the lines. Like I don't think you're going to be able to be that distant going forward.
Listen, I can remember.
You can have those
Remember
memories.
the time when I had all the space I wanted in line, and it was fantastic.
Jeff said, some folks this is back to the rent a U-Haul pickup truck for cheaper rates. Would you ever do that?
No.
I don't know if I would. That'd be fun, though.
I have some pride.
I think I would try that. Why not? Megan says, how was the wait times compared to normal trips? We have a trip starting out on the 1st. I would say the wait times were less, but not so drastically less. I mean, there was definitely moments where Space Mountain was 30 minutes, which was amazing. Like, when have you ever been to Space Mountain where it's 30 minutes.
You know what the other thing is too? Like the wait times were less, but where you waited was different.
Yes.
Like a lot of the waiting was outdoors. And some of the days we were there was 95 degrees and sunny. And a lot of people said, we waited for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for 45 minutes, but it was 100% outside.
Right. So you really want to prepare.
In the sun. So you really have to make sure you bring an umbrella, not for the rain, but for the sun. Just make sure that you're prepared to wait in the sun. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen now that all these distancing things are going away.
Well, but
that's what happened for us.
Even when they left, they took out the plastic barriers on the Tower of Terror attraction, so they were putting more people in. So that would probably lessen how many people are outside. Because for a while, they're like, at Tower of Terror, you were waiting, like, let's just say the wait time was 60 minutes, which, I mean, is still kind of low, right? For if in the grand scheme of things, you were waiting way down Sunset Boulevard with, and like he said, in the glaring sun. So you want to prepare.
That being said, there was never a moment, no matter how busy it was, that I felt like it was an unsafe environment.
Yeah.
I always felt like it was controlled. I always felt like they were doing a good job. I always felt like people were, for the most part, doing their part to keep it safe. I felt very comfortable.
Yeah. Jack says, how was Disney World without the masks? Did you feel safe? Yes. I thought, so the beginning it was all masks. So like the first park day was Hollywood Studios, and it was brutally hot that day. I think it was 95 and 100% of humidity, 100% sunshine, no cloud cover. We did a pretty good job preparing. Like we had our cooling towels, but there were moments like in like the hottest part of the day, which was like, I felt like it was like 2:00. We did utilize the rest areas that they
they have relaxation stations. Like where the Star Wars meet and greets used to be in Hollywood Studios, it's now a relaxation station with air conditioning. So we just like kind of got some snacks, went in there and just hung out there with our masks off and the AC for like 15 minutes and recouped.
That was really awesome. I kind of hope they do something like that in the future where they keep like a area where you can go chill and not feel weird about it. Because like sometimes I just need a break. But yeah, so I would say, and then towards the middle of the trip, the masks outside were off, and I didn't feel uncomfortable. I mean, you still had to wear them in the ride, but
you know what? So here's the thing: we were there Friday night. I believe it was the 14th. They announced that the 15th, which was Saturday, you could, when you're outdoors, as long as you're not in line. So when you're outdoors, you could take your mask off. The second you get into a queue or any building or in any restaurant, you had to have your mask on.
Right.
When we first got to Magic Kingdom, that was the day we went to Magic Kingdom, it was kind of like 50-50. Even though that was, everybody could have their mask off outside, 50% of the people still had them on.
Yes.
Towards when we were leaving, it was like 80% of the people had them off.
Yeah.
The only time I felt like it wasn't super comfortable was towards the end of the Magic Kingdom. I felt like everybody was kind of forgetting about the space thing.
Yeah.
Like we were getting in lines and everybody was kind of clustered together. And that's just me being uncomfortable around people, not so much the mask thing.
Right.
I was like, oh, we're back to this again.
It's hot and sweaty. Just want my physical space, please.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but it was a lot. Actually, Florida in general was a lot. It just was fine. I mean, the airport was busy. Wow, the airport was so busy.
Yeah, Orlando Airport's terrible.
It's so busy.
I love landing in Orlando. I hate leaving from Orlando Airport.
It's so bustling. Oh. It's always bustling. Like, that has got to be one of the busiest airports. And
I feel like they're always confused, too. I feel like they're always confused about what we're doing. Like, what are they... Like, they don't know how to run the lines to get your bag. I feel like they're always overwhelmed.
They're always overwhelmed. And God bless everyone that works there, and they have to deal with a lot of different personalities and people, traveling and probably stressed like us, because you never know. Like they say 2 hours, and sometimes it's 2 hours, and the line's so long, and whatever. So you don't want to feel like you're gonna miss your flight. Although I bet you that wouldn't be the worst thing.
No,
it
wouldn't be the worst thing. Somebody asked if I got a new mug. I did not. So what I did is I pulled out the OG mug.
Oh yeah.
This is the first mug I ever bought at Disney, which kind of started the whole mug thing.
Yeah.
I forgot to buy one this trip.
Yeah, you did.
I literally forgot to buy one. I kind of saw a couple that I wanted, and then I never went back to buy them. So I'm like, we're doing a YouTube live. I forgot to buy a mug. Let me pull out the OG mug.
Yeah.
And here it is.
I like it.
So, no,
I mean,
it's
sadly. A classic. It's not, you shouldn't be sad. It's a great mug. We did get our
sad I didn't buy a new one.
We did buy reusable mugs, so we're good with that.
I did.
Which we got our money's worth, let me just tell you.
That was great. I love those reusable mugs. I definitely got double the value out of my reusable mug.
For sure.
That's another thing I enjoyed.
What?
They all you gotta do is show your mug.
Yeah.
It was like, the lady's like, show me your mug. And I was like, all right, here you go.
I'm here.
That sounded awkward, didn't it?
It was awesome. Yeah.
It sounded better in my head than when I said it out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
But all I had to do was show her my mugs, and I got a drink.
Yeah.
I didn't have to dirty my mug.
Yeah. When are you going back is from Anthony. When are you going back, Bruce? November?
When it cools down a little.
You're hot? You got too hot?
I didn't get too hot, but I was sick of you guys complaining about how hot it was. I love the heat.
Our makeup was melting.
So when it cools down a little bit, I'll go back just because, not that I was hot, but just because I don't have to hear them complain about how hot it was.
Curly hair in Florida, it's just not a good mix. And melty skin, I don't know. I got to get used to it. Okay. Next one was from Patrick.
By the way, hit the like button if you're watching this live with us. Hit the smash it.
Smash it.
And then leave us a comment in there if you have a question or anything.
Was the Via Napoli restaurant good? I need a recommendation for good Disney pizza.
Yes.
I liked it.
It was good.
I mean, here's the thing. It's thin, very, very thin Neapolitan style pizza. So
it's not Neapolitan style.
It's not?
No.
It seemed like it because it's so thin. What kind is it? Is it fake?
It's just thin pizza.
Okay.
It's not fake Neapolitan.
Oh.
Technically, it is fake Neapolitan. If you want to get technical about it.
I mean, I felt like it was. It was really good. We're all pizza snobs. Like, even our children. Like, one of our daughters got the pizza. For some reason, she ordered herself the kids' pizza at Sanaa.
Which I don't know how I allowed that.
I don't either, but whatever. It was towards the end of the trip, and, she was eating a lot of different foods. And so, anyway, she didn't even eat it. I mean, it was,
It tastes, you know what it tasted like? It tasted like Elio's pizza.
Yeah, it was like, so my point is we're very, very, like, into our pizza, and I very much thought that was a good value and a great restaurant.
Yeah.
I thought it was comforting almost because it's like you didn't have to think about it. Like, we're all getting pizza, we're all getting salad, and we're leaving. Like, It wasn't, and sometimes you need that in Disney because you just want to refuel.
So as a pizza connoisseur.
Oh, we're going there?
I'll give my stamp of approval for Via Napoli pizza.
Wow.
And that stamp of approval is hard to come by in the state of Florida.
I think actually you posted that on Facebook that Bruce approved.
Yeah.
Are you going to...
I pretty much disapprove of most pizza. Most people have really bad pizza taste.
You know what it is that we have had the opportunity to try pizza all over the country from some of the best pizza makers all over the country, and which of course someone else wouldn't have that opportunity. So we have tasted so many pizzas that we really can tell you like what we like.
Yeah.
And it's more about like the ingredients, like we know like the fresh sauces and the cheese like really matter. And our kids have sensitivities, and when they feel yucky after eating something, we never go back.
Yeah, so Via Napoli, I'd say I'd give my stamp of approval to. And then there's I forget the name of it. There's one in Disney Springs. It's not Blaze Pizza, by the way. Blaze Pizza you can throw in the trash.
I like the Blaze Keto Crust. I think it's really good.
No, Blaze Pizza is trash.
It's good. Not that I got to go back on my
But yeah, Via
meal
Napoli,
plan here.
I would, if you're going to get pizza in Disney and you're in Epcot, go for it. It's good. It's thin, it's light. You're not going to feel terrible after eating it. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Did you try the bread service at Sanaa? We did.
I would say, if I were to go back to Sanaa, which I would, I think I would only order appetizers because the bread service is so delicious and filling. Like, we ordered a bunch of appetizers. By the time our meal came, we couldn't even touch it. And the meal was good, but I feel like I would much rather have ordered a dozen things off the appetizer menu and maybe dessert and then call it a night.
I agree. I don't know if the menu was limited at Sanaa, but they didn't have a very large selection of entrees, so it was very limited.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's planned or if that's just how... I don't remember it being like that the last time we went. But, like you said, if I was to go back under the current menu format, I would order every appetizer, maybe 2.
Okay.
Like 2 bread services in every appetizer, and then dessert.
So good. That bread service. What else did we get? We ordered everything, like all the appetizers. We wanted to try everything, and I don't know if I mentioned her. We brought our niece, and so she was with us, and it was just great to kind of have this like family time. And I think that's one of the best restaurants that we had like a booth, and it just, I don't know, when you're around your kids a lot, especially towards the end of your vacation, you almost get sick of each other. But for some reason, that restaurant, the animals, like the cast members, like it's just so relaxing that it like opens up.
You know what it is about that restaurant? I think it's in the DVC area.
Yeah.
So it's not in the main lobby. Mm-hmm. So when you walk into the lobby, it's not like there's no hustle and bustling. It's kind of like quiet and laid back. And then you walk outside and you get to see the animals roaming. And then you walk into Sanaa, it's kind of quiet.
Right.
The atmosphere is good. I think it all goes together.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we talked about on the podcast. Like Disney right now isn't what you usually get from Disney.
Yeah.
Disney right now is fine dining in a takeout box.
But I didn't feel that way at Sanaa.
Exactly. That's why it was the best experience we had. It was the only experience that we had that didn't feel like the fine dining out of a takeout box.
But they also have a lot more decor in that restaurant, which I feel like that really matters because when we ate at the Whispering Canyon, we had a good time, but there's not as much decor on the table or like there's, it's like woodsy, right? Like you have like the architecture that's cool and stuff and unique. My computer just is going to die. Sorry. But I think that also creates that ambiance.
Yeah. The Whispering Canyon
I'm
to me.
talking too much.
That's fine.
Okay.
Your team talks too much. That's what you do.
God.
The Whispering Canyon was the only restaurant we ate at. So we ate at the Whispering Canyon, Liberty Tree Tavern, Sanaa, Via Napoli. Did we eat anywhere else? I feel like a pig right now. We ate
everywhere.
Yeah, we ate a lot.
I'm telling you, I never felt hungry this trip.
Out of all the places we ate, the only place I felt kind of uncomfortable was the Whispering Canyon. And only because I'm a restaurant person.
We talked about this on the podcast, though.
Yeah, and when I see an empty restaurant, it makes me feel like it's not a good restaurant.
Yeah.
And the Whispering Canyon was the only one, though, that felt empty.
It was the only one. Because Via Napoli did not feel empty.
No.
Sanaa didn't.
Liberty Tree Tavern did not feel empty.
Oh, by the way, Liberty Tree Tavern. We could talk about that on the show or here, because
maybe we'll save that one for the podcast.
Okay, because we have some beef with them. Yeah. Although that might change because they are having people closer together now.
So, yeah, maybe.
So
we'll save that for the podcast.
A little teaser there.
You have to go subscribe to the podcast to hear our review for Liberty Tree Tavern this trip.
Megan wants to know, it's not Disney related, but what's the best pizza in the Boston area, Bruce?
Wait, what?
What's the best pizza in the Boston area?
It's not Santarpio's. Don't go there.
You know what I really love? It's a small pizza shop in a very small town, but they have the most amazing Detroit-style pizza you'll ever have. It's called Volo.
Yes.
It's out of this world. You got to get the Detroit. It's amazing. I know that's not Disney related, but that, and I love Area 4.
So Volo has Detroit-style pizza. So Detroit-style pizza is not your typical style. It's like thick. It's thick pizza, but it's like airy. It's not Sicilian, which is like dense.
Yeah.
I'm getting into pizza nerddom here.
I know.
I don't know if anybody wants to talk about that, but yeah, Volo's pretty good. Area 4, which has a couple locations in Boston and Cambridge, is really good Neapolitan-style pizza. For me, don't go to Santarpio's. It's not bad, but it's not the best. You'll waste your time and money there. I think there's much better places. If you do come to Boston, send me a message. I'll tell you some places to go. Sometimes the best pizza places in Boston are outside of the city.
Yes, less like commercialized.
Yes.
I mean, that's what happens. Like,
there's a lot. I'll tell you right now, it's not Regina's and it's not Santarpio's.
Okay. Jeff wants to know, what was your favorite Disney bounding outfit?
I'm not aware of any Disney bounding outfit that I wore, so Connie's going to have to tell me which one I wore, and then I'll tell you if I liked it.
We did Monsters, Inc. at Magic Kingdom, which was really, really fun. Except...
Stop kicking the table, will you, lady?
Sorry, I am a little hyper. I think my best one, although mine was a fail, the kids said I did not look like Sully. I looked like Cinderella, which was fine, but my favorite was actually our middle, and she was Boo, and she was like Boo as a teenager. Which
all right.
I don't know if I got any pictures, but she looked so cute.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Okay. Very subtle. Like very, very, that's the way you Disney bound.
So Ryan says, what the crap is Detroit-style pizza? So Detroit-style pizza is made in, it's called a blue pan.
Oh, we're going to pizza nerd area.
I'm a pizza nerd. So
Sorry.
I'm going to explain real quick.
Okay.
It's going to be the best pizza you've ever had in your life. Mm-hmm. It's not something you can eat every day because it's very filling. Not heavy, but filling.
Yeah.
And it's not something you want to eat every day.
Right.
It's cooked in a square pan, like a rectangle pan, like a blue steel pan. And it's like a airy, thick crust that has cheese on it and then sauce on the top. And the sauce has to be like a not a sweet, but like a salty marinara kind of style sauce. It's so good.
Okay. Are we done with the pizza?
Yeah,
okay. I'm starving now, thanks to you. Katie wants to know, do you think taking a 1.5-year-old to Disney is a good age?
I think taking anybody to Disney at any age can be good if you do it right.
Yeah, I think you just have to know their schedules and trying to abide by their kind of.
If you treat the 1.5-year-old like you treat an 18-year-old, you're gonna have a miserable trip.
Exactly.
If you treat them like a 1.5-year-old and like Connie said, make sure you take breaks and you don't force them to stay up till midnight and like keep them on their schedule. Any age can be good.
I think that's actually the one regret I have is that we didn't take G younger. Like that was like our little dry period where we vowed we'd never go to Disney again. How ironic. And so I have no pictures of anything. And, I see like if you go on, especially like Pinterest pages and you see all these awesome, whatever.
Who goes on Pinterest?
I don't know. You go on these pages and you go on TikTok and you see all these pages of kids like in these outfits. It's so cute. Is Pinterest not a thing anymore? I still have it on my phone. I mean,
for me, it was never a thing. It was popular for a minute. I'm sure there's a lot of people who use Pinterest, by the way.
I go on TikTok, then I go on Pinterest when I'm like, okay, overloaded with video, and I just want to like relax. That's my little outlet.
Ryan says, come on back to pizza. I'm going to have to find this and try it. Not a ton of great pizza. So my friend has a pizzeria. It's called Via 313 in Texas. They have multiple locations. They do serve a great Detroit-style pizza.
Is he from Texas?
Yeah, he says he's in Texas.
Oh, awesome.
Someone gave us a thumbs down. Maybe we're talking too much pizza. Or maybe they like Santarpios. Or Blaze. Trash.
Whoops. Hey, like I said, Blaze has some unique crusts that I feel like help, especially those on specific diets.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. All right. Are we done?
What's something y'all would have done different this past trip? Couple more. If you have a question, you got about 5 more minutes. So I would say if you have a question, throw it in there now. We're going to be on for about 5 more minutes. Ryan, they're in Austin, Texas, in the surrounding area.
What would be the one thing you would have done differently this trip?
Yeah.
Probably would have. Sounds weird, but I wish I realized before how much I would like the cabins, and I probably would want to stay there a couple more nights and then hit the Polynesian, or maybe even do something else because the Polynesian is amazing, and by the time it officially opens to the public, it will probably be amazing. But right now, it isn't the Poly that we're used to. Like there's limited cast members, so you don't really get that interaction. You don't get, Ohana's still closed. Like the fire shows aren't happening. Movie night is like every other night. Like it's like a subdued kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just when you're used to it a certain way, it's hard to kind of not. I don't think we were complaining, but we were just like missing like that.
Definitely.
Missing those fire dancers.
Yeah. I probably would have skipped Liberty Tree.
Yeah.
And Whispering Canyon.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
It's fine.
Okay. All right.
I think I would have skipped those 2 restaurants and maybe done a quick service or something different. I didn't find value in those 2 restaurants.
You know what it is?
At the moment.
The All You Care to Enjoy is amazing if it was just Bruce and I and maybe one of our kids, but the 5 of us, I was eating on behalf of my children. Like we were paying for them as adults because they're all above the age of 9. And they would like pick at the food, not really eat.
Yeah.
So partly that was our fault because we were snacking a lot.
Totally.
And it was hard because we wanted to try stuff and like our appetites are a lot bigger and like not realizing like, we can't necessarily eat something a couple hours beforehand. You might still not be hungry. So that's the one thing I don't think might be worth it. Like if you have kids that are not big eaters, the All You Care to Enjoy might not be worth the money.
Yeah. We'll talk about that more on the podcast because we're going to review Liberty Tree. We'll talk all about it. The link is below. Go subscribe to the podcast. The episode will be out this week. Yeah. Wait, what's today? What is today?
Today is Tuesday.
So it'll be out.
Welcome to Tuesday.
It'll be out Friday. Go subscribe to the podcast. We'll talk all about that in length.
Yes.
After staying at DVC, are you considering buying? No.
Okay.
What is one must-do restaurant that you recommend? Can either be at the resorts or in the parks.
Look, I really love hanging at the Sci-Fi. I'm a sucker.
That's the other one we ate at.
I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and I will always say the Sci-Fi rocks. Like, it's not the best food in the planet, but it is the. You mouthing something?
No.
Oh, I was like, wait, are you going to try it? Am I talking too much?
No, not at
all. I was like, wait. I love the fried pickles and just like the atmosphere of that room. So that's like always going to be my favorite.
What was the question again? I forgot.
What's your best place to eat?
I enjoyed Sanaa a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about Sanaa a lot in the past in the podcast, but out of all the restaurants we went to, Sci-Fi, Whispering Canyon, Liberty Tree, Via Napoli, Sci-Fi to me, overall experience-wise, was the best.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Really liked Via Napoli a lot. I thought it was like, I got this strawberry drink, and it was like mulled strawberries, fresh, super delicious with my food. And I don't know. It was simple but very satisfying.
All right, next question. Thoughts after seeing Harmonious Barge in person?
The space portal.
I literally thought to myself, Tony Stark, Earth is closed today.
Yes, that's exactly what we thought. For that reason, I loved it. I was like, This is the coolest thing ever. Totally goes along with what Epcot's all about, right? Futuristic thing. So I think it looked cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
We'll see.
Did y'all get a day or two with loosened mask rules? One day in the parks, it was enjoyable. Everybody did a good job of staying distant.
Yeah, and we did. I think that's the one thing that I noticed was like with the masks, like you couldn't necessarily walk around, eat and drink. And that's the one thing I really love doing in Disney is walking around while eating and drinking, right? Like you just save time that way. You can still kind of look at things. So when we were there, we had to like sit and eat. And so that was still fine, but it wasn't like our normal kind of routine.
I did sneak Joffrey's onto the People Mover.
We should stop before you get in trouble.
It's still as fun and amazing as it ever was.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to end it there.
There was a video on Instagram.
Okay.
Unlocking the Magic Podcast.
Awesome.
You can go check it out.
Great.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
Again, hit the like button if you would please. Subscribe to the podcast. Links below to subscribe to the podcast. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We'll do a podcast, lengthy one this week coming out about the review of Liberty Tree Tavern, some things we liked and some things we didn't.
Yeah.
And maybe a review of Magic Kingdom because we didn't talk about that yet.
Yep. And I also have notes of what the Diz Kids talked about because they're going to be putting out their episodes pretty soon. And I have a whole list of things that they said that they may not know that I wrote down.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting perspective that I'm going to talk about next
All right.
time. So I thought that was
That'll
cool.
be fun.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, talking about Disney through their eyes, I think is pretty neat.
It is. That's what it's all about.
Right?
Like, as much as we like Disney, ultimately, as a parent, you want to take your kids there so they build memories.
Exactly.
I think. I think that's what someone told me I should say.
I think so, too.
At one point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here on the YouTubes. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.